What up, guys? JP back at you once again, bring you guys day number 26 in my 9th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 26, I decided to revisit a film that made quite the impression on me 2 years ago. It is a film that just missed my top 10 of the year that year, but I always had a feeling that if I'd maybe rewatched it beforehand, it would have crept onto my list. And that film is Annihilation from the year 2018. This is a sci-fi horror film. And I gotta be honest, this 4K looks pretty amazing. It is the perfect type of film to see on 4K. Even in the theater, I was blown away by like some of the visuals in the film, and they pop on 4K. So this film is kind of a complicated movie, and I remember the first time that I watched it, I felt like I didn't pick up everything. I still feel that way even watching it again, but I feel like the second watch has definitely benefited this film. So the film basically revolves around this thing called the Shimmer. So there was a comet or a meteor or an asteroid or something that hits the Earth, and it basically created a sort of X zone type thing, a zone in which a lot of crazy things is happening, and the Shimmer is expanding. So it hits Earth and it's slowly expanding. It's going outward. So they believe that if they don't figure out what this thing is and possibly how to stop it, it's essentially going to be total annihilation of the Earth. So basically, they send in a team of people to investigate it, and they basically don't come back. And they send in another team. They send in a couple teams for the last 3 years, and this thing is ever expanding. So then we follow our lead character who... her husband was actually in one of the teams, and he does come back. But whenever they transport him to the hospital after he starts throwing up blood, they basically say, like, hey, you know, the government comes in, or this agency comes in and pretty much quarantines them, basically explains to her what's going on. And they essentially want to send another group in, but this time all female, because they've sent all men groups before. They think maybe that can make a difference, and they send in this group of females along with the soldier of Natalie Portman's character. She's a soldier as well, and she decides to go with them. Each of the 5 people sort of have issues that they're dealing with. A lot of depression runs throughout the group. A lot of getting in their own way type of things. And they go into this Shimmer, which is very visual, and it's called the Shimmer because of the visuals. And I know I'm giving a lot of plot here, but this thing has got a lot of plot. And what the Shimmer kind of is how I take it, is basically like human cells, they die off, but these Shimmer cells continuously mutate and continuously grow and expand. And everything, they're compatible with like every other cell. So animals and plants, different species of plants sort of mutate together, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows. So they go into the Shimmer and try to investigate what's going on. I'll kind of leave the plot off there. It's a lot of stuff that goes on in this movie, and there's way more to it. But in there, this is where I think the movie shines a lot. The visuals and the beauty and the oddity of everything that's in the Shimmer is just such a cool world. I want to spend more time in there. This film runs 2 hours, and it doesn't really feel like it. I love the little surface that we scratch of what the Shimmer is capable of. We find this sort of albino alligator that is just so cool, and you want to see other animals and other things that have been took over by the Shimmer and see what they look like and what they're capable of doing. Also, I mentioned the plants. There's multiple species of different plants growing out of the same vine, which, you know, shouldn't be possible, but is due to the effects of the shimmer. And also it starts to sort of mess with the space and time a little bit too, because when they first get there, they've pretty much went through a couple days of rations, but they feel like they've just got there, like within minutes. So they've been there longer than they thought. And there's also, it's, you know, very, I guess, a lot of it is plant-based. It seems like a lot of plant overgrowing is happening, which is pretty cool. But the little world they create is so neat. And they feel like they're already becoming part of the world around them. Like they're having, like the one girl says she can see her thumbprint moving and stuff like that. Just real weird stuff. They eventually find the tapes of, like a tape of a previous group, and there's a little bit more mystery. And I'll stop talking about the plot now. But overall, I mean, I just think this movie is so creative. It's so interesting. It makes you think. The sci-fi aspect of it is there, but there is some horror in there as well. The visuals are mostly great. There is some CGI that isn't the best, but there's some practicals in there too. There's a mix of practical and CGI that goes together pretty well. And because it's sci-fi and sort of this fantasy world that they're in, it kind of lends itself to CGI a little bit more, because maybe that's just what it looks like in that world, you know what I mean? But yeah, this 4K is pretty awesome. If you've never seen this movie, I definitely recommend it, especially if you like movies that sort of make you think and are really good with world building. The acting's really good. The only thing that I will say is, like, maybe, you know, her joining the group like that wouldn't probably happen like that. I mean, it's kind of weird that they would do that. I don't think that would really happen in real life. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's so unimportant in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's worth it to just see this awesome world that we're set in. And this movie was really cool in the theater, but watching it now, I definitely appreciate it even more. I definitely came up on my rating. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10 now. I think I gave it an 8.5 last time. It's a 9. Definitely plan on watching this one again in another couple years, because it's probably one of the cooler sci-fi films I've seen in modern time. And I do like sci-fi when it mixes with horror. It's pretty cool. So with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another one. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Peace out.